we are not a heavy industry or manufacturing or fossil intensive company. However, when you start looking, you start to find risks in perhaps unanticipated places. For example, when the grid goes down in Texas, I can assure you no one is watching Netflix. We are also quantifying things like the number of times wildfires have interfered with production. That is our core business, making television and film. So we have, as a company, made climate change our most important ESG focus area, and we have set a net zero emissions by next year target, which you have to pause and just appreciate what that entails and how hard the team is sweating to get us there.
60% of the emissions of the world are covered by net zero commitments today. Now, how they're going to get there is all of us working on it, all of us driving it, in our case, with our particular role, helping to finance it. But you're going to start to run into more and more customer demand. And so if you're a B2B customer and you're supplying in, or consumer demand, if you do something with consumers, they are going to want to know how you're going to get to net zero, or else they're going to buy their product from someone else. That's going to force the activity fast.
We are fundamentally an agriculture-based, product business, and in companies like ours, 90% of the climate footprint sits outside our factories or our direct supply chain. Just recently, together with PepsiCo and McCormick, we launched an initiative on bringing our suppliers into a climate transition as well, because we did go out and talk to our top 200 suppliers and found that only 10% of them actually has science-based targets. And we have no hope of achieving our commitments with extensive scope 3 reductions, which is really our focus, without them playing along.
Once you engage the supply chain, it really becomes a geometric change. We have noticed that just the act of asking our vendors the question, do you have a science-based target? That takes on just a multitude of ripple effects out into the supply chain. So even just that conversation is well worth the effort, and actually has led to improvements in relationships with some of our vendors.
So it's going to come from you changing how you buy power. It's going to come from you changing how you, if you use steel in your production, how you demand that those steel producers get you a little cleaner steel incrementally.
It is absolutely jaw-dropping, the disruption to the global economy that is anticipated as a result of essentially locking in 1.5 degrees of global warming over the next 20 years. So we now understand that that's inevitable. And the real question is, how much of the most dire and catastrophic loss is preventable? If you haven't already, setting a ambitious and comprehensive net zero target, anchoring it in a science-based target, and then being very clear in your communications out to the industry and to your consumers what that includes, what that excludes, and why. I'll leave it there.